Well, that turned out to be far below than our expectations, whatever were our score predictions. I had predicted 145. I was called conservative, but they have ended up with even worse. 135 for 6. Gujarat Titans 66 by Hardik Pandya of 50 balls, but that is a different story altogether. Looking at the Lucknow bowling, Naveenul Haq impressed yet again, 1 for 19. Marcus Stoinis took 2 wickets in the final overs. Krunal Pandya taking 2 for 16. But already they have made their impact substitution. Amit Mishra has been subbed out and Prerak Mankad is their impact player, Lucknow Super Giants. 135 for 6. Gargi, thoughts? Under par or this pitch is enough for you to defend 135?
Looking at the pitch, I mean, if it's doing this in the first innings, I think it will be even harder to bat in the second innings. I think GT will defend it. I believe so because they've got the bowlers, why not? And I think it was just one of the days where the pitch is not doing things for you. The batting team. And even though Saha batted really well, Hardik Pandya came in with a good knock. But again, another low scoring match. It's just the way it is.
Shane?
Look, I think, this is definitely an under par score. And what worries me normally with these kind of pitches is that there's two ways a track that is turning like this can go. Either it will become even more difficult to bat. Or what tends to happen sometimes when it's sunset and the breeze starts coming in, whatever breeze you get, conditions become a little easier. Now, if that happens, then Lucknow are cruising to a victory. But I do think even keeping that, let's assume it still remains turgid to bat on. I would say LSG have the advantage for the very simple reason that they know how much they're chasing. Again, the old maxim of if you know your target is just better for you because, well, you can then pace your innings accordingly.
Rahul? Under par, below par or can be defended?
I think it's going to be difficult for them to defend this one.
Okay, because the pitch is only going to get harder.
No, I know the wicket will get slower, but as Shane also mentioned, I think at least they know it's not a big total to chase and they know the target. 135 on the board. I think they can pace their chase accordingly. I think for me, Lucknow should get 2 points from this match.
Same. Again, I'd gone with LSG before the innings as well, and I think there's no need for me to change the prediction. For the simple reason that's not enough runs on the board, regardless of the way it's not turning square, and that would have probably made me feel that okay, I would have given GT a little bit of a chance. Let's say if there was that kind of aid for the spinners, but yes, a decent bowling lineup Gujarat have. There's no changing that. But 135 is just, I think, easily about 25-30 runs below par, and Lucknow will have no scoreboard pressure per se. And yes, KL Rahul likes to take it slow or likes to play to the situation. Let's say if not play it slow, this is let's say right up his alley. Right up the alley for him, and it suits his team also. He can play that anchor role today, get those runs under the belt and take his team to victory.
So, if you look at 135, nearly half of those runs were scored by Hardik Pandya. Okay. Yeah. But Hardik Pandya's knock hides two bigger things in that. Number one, 40 runs, his initial 40 runs came off 41 balls. The remainder of the 26 that he hit came off 9. He accelerated in the over that was bowled by Ravi Bishnoi. He hit 2 sixes. Of course, Bishnoi didn't help himself by bowling short balls, pacey balls in the slot. 2 sixes and a boundary ensured that 19 runs came off that over. But on this wicket, is Hardik Pandya's knock, will it be criticized because he accelerated a bit too late, maybe in the 18th over itself? Or will there be criticism on the fact that, okay, 40 or 41, why couldn't he do a much better job of rotating the strike? Because even that has been the criticism that even Hardik Pandya is facing, 40 or 41, and he's not been in prime form that you can say. The form of 2021, the form of 2020, 2022, he's been hit and miss, 50-50. Even here, he's hit a 50, but look at that, 40 of 41, 26 of 9. I mean, I'll throw this to the whole debate to the whole floor. How would you make of Hardik Pandya's knock? Rahul, you can start.
135 for 6 to me is not justified because, you it means that you've scored 135 runs of 120 deliveries. You still had 4 wickets in hand, and out of which the 6 wickets that fell, I think a couple of them fell in the last over. What were the likes of David Miller doing there in that dugout? Is it just that David Miller is there? You've hired or you've bought a foreign player like David Miller for 10-15 balls. I think he also deserves a chance on this wicket, and everywhere in the world, be it any batsman, if the wicket is slow, he needs time, even for the best of stroke makers. You just can't come out and bat and just score runs immediately. You need time. I think David Miller deserved to come ahead of who came before
Vijay Shankar came, Abhinav
Manohar. I still understand. Okay, you wanted to have didn't want David Miller to expose that early, but still, David Miller, you should have given him an opportunity to just settle down and then score runs. But then they needed a stroke maker, and perhaps David Miller was the only one. So I think 135 for me is not justified. They might just win this game, but then it is going to be very challenging for them.
I just want to add to that. I had very similar thoughts when I saw Rahul Tewatia come into bat right towards the, I think 19.2 was the exact stage at which he came into bat, and while he was just limbering up, he was just loosening up before taking strike, let's say. That's the thought that I had in mind. Why a finisher like him is getting, and they still had 5 more wickets in hand. Why is he coming in at this stage, and what's the point now? 4 deliveries he's getting to face in totality, and it's all too late now for the likes of him and Miller to express himself, or rather express themselves. So maybe, and that's where you can look at Hardik Pandya's innings with a little bit of criticism, let's say. That's not to forget that the pitch also wasn't aiding a lot of easy stroke play, but even then, when you have batting till number 7, number 8 rather, without your impact player, and you had a Rashid also in the ranks, why not take that extra chance and maybe aim for those extra 20 odd runs, because you've fallen short easily about 25-30 odd runs here.
Yep, Gargi.
I mean, similar thoughts about it. But I also think because the pitch was really slow, and then they had, looking at the opposition, you had someone like Naveen ul Haq bowling, who's very deceptive with his bowling. He'd come in pretty quickly and then bowl a slower one. His cutters are really good. So I think it made a lot of sense, like what they're saying, to have a few batters come in earlier.
Yep.
And take advantage of those middle overs, and when the game is really going really slow. And Shubman Gill's knock, his wicket today, I think made a very big difference to this total. Plus, I think speaking for LSG, it was a great wicket for, who took Shubman Gill's wicket?
I think it was under Krunal Pandya.
That was a very expensive wicket for LSG.
Do you all think that we have to be a little bit concerned about Shubman Gill's form, considering the fact that so far, apart from the first game, he has not contributed that much when you look at it. It's been Ridhiman Saha who's been giving them the fast starts, even today, 47 of 37. But do you think there will be a debate around Shubman Gill's form now? Is he losing form at a crucial time, or do you think this is just a minor blip?
In what format?
In the T20 format?
Are we looking at T20s or ODIs? Or are you talking in general?
In general. Because in IPL, if suppose you don't do well in the IPL, there are then questions that, is he fit for the ODI format? Is he going to be doing well in the test format?
Well, if you're talking about the general form of Shubman Gill, look at the larger picture. A few 5 or 6 bad games does not define form.
No, she makes a valid point. I think Shubman too early to worry about as of now. I would be more worried about how these pitches are going to look in about a month's time.
Oh yeah.
Or even 2 weeks' time, because the heat is going to get worse.
But if you have to have the same, yardstick, let's say, if for a Deepak Hooda we can express a little bit of worry after 4 games, why not for Shubman Gill?
Because Deepak Hooda has gotten only single-digit scores. Only.
Barring the one innings, I think, from Shubman, just because he's, let's say, an elegant batter to watch, why can't we have the same yardstick for him?
Because He's talking generally form.
Yeah,
na?
general.
But
Even Deepak Hooda, he has been given his chances, let's say. And Deepak Hooda could then say, okay, I also have been, for one, I've been promoted, let's say, up the order. It's a new batting position, let's say, for me. And if, let's say, I haven't been getting the runs, so even Shubman hasn't been getting the runs.
Shubman Gill has been coming in after a great performance. No, there's some
And then you can either play as per past reputation or not talk
reputation.
about.
How does reputation come in play? Because he's been playing well.
And
No,
that's
that
not
is-
his reputation. No, international cricket, mein he was doing well. 2 bad IPL performances, no.
More than two. We're talking about more than 2.
3, 4. With Deepak Hooda, he's been out of form for a while now.
For last
Even
year.
internationally, with the bat, he's not been.
No, that's what I'm saying. You either talk about IPL numbers or you don't. If you want to talk about, let's say, players being in the side or out of it, okay, forget the IPL. But we've seen traditionally, yes, that IPL does become, let's say, that springboard for many players. It did become for DK last year. It's become for Rishabh Pant also, let's say, you fast track somebody like an Umran Malik based on what you saw in the IPL. So, yes, the IPL does matter.
That too, by the way.
Yeah,
Deepak Hooda himself.
even Krunal Pandya also.
But let me just add something here. You get picked on the basis of IPL performances, but you don't get dropped from the national side on the basis of IPL performances.
Venkatesh Iyer would disagree with you.
Why?
Last year, he got dropped from the team, right? After poor IPL, yes? Yes.
It wasn't because of the IPL. There were other things as well.
Like?
So basically, he got picked for on the basis of his IPL performances. Those 7 games that he played in Italy.
UAE, yeah.
Yeah, and
Played in the New Zealand T20Is.
Yeah, and you would remember that he was picked for an ODI team, but he was selected on the basis of T20 performances.
Yeah.
And as far as Venkatesh Iyer was concerned, it was just a matter of time. The moment Hardik Pandya
Became fit.
yeah, he had to come. Irrespective of whether it was Venkatesh Iyer, had it been Shivam Dubey, anybody. He was just warming the bench, in fact, for
Hardik Pandya.
And we all know, now that Hardik Pandya has decided that I'm going to play just one format, and if you want to play me in ODIs, that's fair enough. I may or may not bowl more than 4-5 overs, and that too, I may not bowl in every game. So, Venkatesh Iyer's case was a little different, and as I said, you get picked. It's an unwritten rule that you will not drop a player from the national side. If you speak, your selectors will tell you they would not drop a player on the basis of his IPL performances. Last year, you would remember Ravi Bishnoi had a horrible season.
Yes.
Still, he was selected for that
Asia Cup.
immediately after. No,
Even West Indies.
immediately after
South Africa.
I think South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah, it was South Africa.
Last year you're talking about, right?
Yeah, last IPL.
Yeah, South Africa T20 is.
Yeah.
And then the Asia Cup also followed. Yeah.
So in fact, I spoke to a selector. He said, "यार हमें players बनाने हैं, हमें players खराब नहीं करने हैं." So at that time, so we might discuss Hardik Pandya's. By the way, tell me which Indian player who's there in the Indian team has done exceedingly well so far. Mohammad Shami perhaps could be one, by the way.
Yeah.
Using.
Yuzi Chahal, I know he is amongst the leading wicket takers, but I think last game.
Yeah, again, the game against LSG was slightly off color.
Yeah, but one
bad game out
bad
of the.
game I can take it. But you hear
Virat Kohli is in.
sitting here. You've discussed, you've criticized Virat Kohli despite him scoring I think 350s now.
Yeah,
3 half
350
centuries. We've criticized Virat Kohli.
for a strike rate. Yeah.
Criticized KL Rahul. We've criticized Hardik Pandya.
Rohit Sharma.
We've criticized Rohit Sharma. We've criticized Ishan Kishan. But tell me which player has done exceedingly well. But that
None
is not
so
me.
far.
So and I always rate IPL performances, and those, of course, there has to be a benchmark, because if somebody makes the cut, if suddenly DK gets picked on the basis of his IPL performances in the national side, somebody has to make way for him. So you have to ensure that you are not that fringe player. I'm talking about just the fringe players, because the star players will not make way for anybody who's coming from outside. So that's been the case so far. For all the players, you have to be a big player, and the players that we are talking about, as you said, Hardik Pandya, you mentioned about. It doesn't matter, irrespective of his. As a fan, as an Indian cricket fan, you should be concerned.
Also, you have to look at how different international cricket is from franchise
Very
leagues.
different.
You've got to look at the pressure. You've got to
Absolutely.
look at the temperament that you're playing with, because playing at the international, if you're doing well in the international level, it's going to be 100 times much more important than doing well in franchise
And
cricket.
quality
Yes,
of cricket
exactly.
is also 100 times
Exactly.
better in international cricket. Here, you tell me which player has the ability to score 5. Do you really think, with all due respect to Rinku Singh, whatever he's done here in the IPL in this season and even the last season, he's a brilliant player, a very committed player. But do you really think that Rinku Singh tomorrow, he's playing for India and he'll score 5 consecutive sixes of an international bowler? No. Domestic cricket, there is a difference between domestic cricket
And
first
franchise.
age group.
No.
If you're playing age group cricket, suddenly you make it to Ranji Trophy. There is a huge difference.
Yes.
And between Ranji Trophy and international cricket, it's an even bigger gap to bridge. So,
Yep.
I understand. It's also I think here, at least in this game, the wicket, they were playing for the wicket.
Yeah.
The team, I think it was playing on their mind. This is a slow wicket. Otherwise, KL survived.
Yes, he just survived. Yep.
Could
No,
be able
no.
playing out a maiden over.
Second
No.
maiden over.
No unlucky dismissal for him, unlike Virat.
Yeah.
Tell me one thing: will he or will he not?
I think he will.
What?
A maiden
He'll
over.
play out a maiden over.
Second
Achha.
maiden over
I think he'll do it.
of the season.
Only second, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Not
Only
11th out of
second.
19th.
Yep. So there is talking about KL. Baffling that KL substituted Amit Mishra, who gave 9 runs
Yes.
instead of Bishnoi, who gave 49 or 130. Hariharan Vishwanathan from the US is saying.
Valid point.
I found that surprising. And you entrusted Bishnoi to bowl the 18. Yes, he's been bowling in the death overs in the last couple of games. But I'm sorry, he was all over the place in that 18th over. 2 short balls, got it for a 6, which very well would have made a difference. They would have not been chasing 136. They could have very well been chasing
I think
115.
he was just showing faith in Bishnoi because of the surface and how he's been doing in the past matches. I think it was that. It was because of that.
I think Mishra showed you it was better to bowl slower.
Slower.
Slower through the air. Kunal Pandya did it, got 2
Yes.
wickets for 16 runs.
Naveen ul Haq did it.
I mean, Amit Mishra also.
Yep.
Bishnoi, I think in the recent past, if you look, if you see Ravi Bishnoi, he is now, otherwise he had just, his stock delivery was googly. You just have to, and first season was always, is usually good, and then from second season onwards, is it a maiden?
It is a maiden. So 2 consecutive games now.
Yes. Yes.
KL Rahul.
So it's a 19 over chase anyway now.
Yeah.
It's a 19 over chase. No Duckworth Lewis method, it's the KLR method.
So, Ravi Bishnoi, batsmen now had understood that we have to play him as an off spinner, and he is quicker through the air. I think this wicket demanded a bowler to be a little slower through the air.
Old fashioned classic leg bowling.
Allow the ball to grip,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
it would turn.
Give it flight,
Yep.
let it drift.
Any other super chat, Anurag? Were there any other super chats?
Yeah, there was
That's it? That's one? Okay.
I think there was one more.
This was the only one. Okay. So
KL maiden loading.
it has loaded. It's happened.
GGK loaded.
Loaded. Yes. It's now a 19 over chase. The KLR method of. Yep.
Just go down, Android.
Let's go down. We'll just take one more comment before. Okay. Why no Sai Sudarshan who plays well or GT didn't read the pitch? Akash Bharadwaj is saying. Why no Sai Sudarshan?
I don't know. I think recently Sai Sudarshan has been playing a lot for them. I think unfortunately, Abhinav Manohar is kind of superseded
doing
him.
well.
But
Yep.
what wrong did he do? I think that's what people want to know.
Mitchell Santner must be asking that as well.
Exactly. He has that every year.
A lot of players are asking that.
No, but I think he got 2 back-to-back 50s and then he got dropped.
No, then Abhinav Manohar was. He had those few impact knocks in the middle over.
Yeah.
After that.
When he came on as Kane Williamson's impact, that's it. No, that was Sai Sudarshan.
Sai
sorry.
Sudarshan, that-
But I know, it's kind
He
of
didn't
strange.
do much wrong.
It's kind of strange. He played that match-winning knock against Delhi.
Yes.
Then, I don't
Then
know.
one more, I think he backed it up with another 50.
Yeah, I think it was against KKR. No, I think he just had a quick fire knock at that,
That was
time.
quick fire.
Yeah.
Quick fire, no? Okay.
So Kumar Gaurav, I mean, he's echoing Rahul's comment. He says, like, based on what Rahul said, I am worried, Indian cricket fan. We are making 2 to 3 teams right now. To be brutally honest, we don't have 2 to 3 players apart from VK and Rohit.
In times to come, what I see is we might just have to go football way.
Yep.
That I think there'll be franchise cricket everywhere in the world, and just like you play friendly on
Or the Euros or like the.
and also every year you have an ICC event.
Yeah.
You have T20 World Cups, you have ODI World Cups, then you have World Test Championship every 3 years, and then you have ICC Champions Trophy. So every year you have an ICC event,
Yep.
and you'll have franchise cricket everywhere in the world, and on and off you'll have test matches. As it is, you're not helping much by preparing wickets like the
this.
ones that we've seen at home.
Yeah.
Because it is more feasible to and beneficial to
Yep.
have T20 cricket franchise everywhere.
Exactly, as in the more they are realizing the monetary ability or the ability to get money revenue from T20 leagues, eventually then bilaterals will lose its importance.
Yeah.
I know Indian cricket is paying a lot to these Indian cricketers, but now young cricketers, say 25, 26, 27, they are looking for other avenues which are opening in countries like the
USA.
US.
Yes.
Exactly. A lot of cricketers I know have moved out to
Same.
Unmukt, of course, has already.
Then there was Saurabh Netrawalkar. He was in Mumbai, but he's now the captain of USA.
Azhar's son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ajay Sharma's son. Ajay Sharma.
Yep. Former India batter.
Yeah.
Delhi.
He used to play for Delhi, right?
Yeah.
One of the stalwarts of Delhi.
Manan Sharma.
Yeah.
So Manan has also moved to US, if I am not wrong, and there are a lot of other people. So they will look for, and if IPL is one avenue that every player aspires to go into, but if they don't make the cut there, they're not getting into the Indian teams. Although the Ranji Trophy and the match fees,
They pay well.
yeah, they pay well. But if you're not making the cut there, then might as well move out, play. And also, I think that has already started because a lot of these Indian franchisees now own teams
Abroad also.
Exactly.
Correct. In fact, if you look at the SA20, all 6 teams are owned by IPL franchises.
Yeah.
Then mini IPL.
Even the
Dubai is-
ILT20.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi Knight Riders.
MI Emirates.
MI Emirates is the capitals also there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Then also in the
Dubai
CPL.
capitals, right?
CPL. You've got
Trinbago Knight
Trinbago
Riders.
Knight Riders. So.
It has become a system. You hire a coach, and he'll be coach for all 4 franchises.
You'll have a director of cricket also.
You'll have a director of cricket, yeah.
Yeah, global head director. So yep. So still think GT can defend this, or think Lucknow or cruising?
See, I had predicted Lucknow and I'm sticking to that.
Gargi?
Same.
Same.
But you predicted GT.
She means same of that.
Okay. Rahul, I think LSG.
इंसान ही कैसे बदल जाए.
Okay, so we'll be back for the match end and then we'll build up to the second game that is there, Mumbai versus Punjab.
Yes.
So join us for that, tap that bell icon, and thank you so much from all of us here. Bye bye, see you in the match end.